Good morning, parents. It is Friday, November 4th, and I do apologize for not recording some weekly parent videos in the past few weeks. I'm actually recording right now at home because I'm worried that what's been happening the last few weeks is going to happen when I get to work, which is the minute I get on campus, the students stop me and they have questions, and then I never get a quiet time like this to record video. So I'm here, and so we're going to go ahead and start talking about some things. First thing on the list is paying for AP. I did talk to the students. If you're going to pay for the AP test, you have to be willing to put calculus first. And quite a few students, especially in the AB class, have not put calculus first, and so their grades have started to suffer because of it. So if you're going to pay for the AP, great. Today is the last day to do that without a fee penalty. And so if you're looking for that AP Classroom code, it is in Google Classroom for my class. It is unique by class period and unique by AB versus BC. A little confusing, but if your child goes to Google Classroom, the AP Classroom code is listed there. And then, as far as AP is concerned, it's okay to not take the test. If you're not going to put all your effort into passing the test, then there's no reason to pay for the test. So I've been telling the students a lot, like, if you're going to pay for the test, you have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to put calculus first. You can't put A push first. You can't put, your other classes first. This is not like advanced math. You really have to put the time and the effort in. Practice makes perfect. You don't show up to a concert without practicing your instrument or practice your piece for choir. So that in that sense, you don't want to show up to the AP test without adequately preparing. And that goes for any exam too in my class. You don't show up to the exam without preparing correctly. So it's no different than their instrument or singing in the choir. You have to practice. And practice makes perfect. So unfortunately, that analogy is not necessarily always used for some of the academic classes, but especially for calculus, you might have to practice more than what is in the homework set or what's actually due, and that's been a little bit of an adjustment for the students. So if your child is struggling, please make sure that they are not only doing their homework on time, but they are also asking me for additional practice questions because I think that that is super important. Okay, so moving right along to some activities, things that are happening this upcoming week. There is a symphony orchestra concert on next Tuesday. There's our WASC accreditation team is coming through. We get accredited every 6 years. The last time we got a 6 year accreditation without a 3 year review, which is actually very, very good. Most schools get a 6 year review with or a 6 year accreditation with a 3 year review. And last year was the first year that we got no mid year review, so no 3 year review in between. We're hoping for the same thing again, but we could get a 6 year with a 3 year review, and that's totally fine. But accreditation is really important, so I keep telling the students, act normal. Be your normal self, but remember that you represent our school. Every single student in the classroom represents UHS, and so we have a very special thing at our school. And so even though you're a little upset about an exam or frustrated because you're trying to get help in a certain class, that they have to remember that they do represent our school. And so when they're asked questions by our accreditation team, that they just need to remember that because not always do people understand, when you start complaining about something, what is actually going on behind the scenes. So I tell the students, just be honest, be yourself, and then there shouldn't be an issue. But then we will have visitors Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Thursday is a early release schedule, and then Friday, Veterans Day, is no school. So we finally hit our first 3 day weekend. But after that 3 day weekend, it's going to seem very, very quick. We have a full week, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then when we come back, we only have a couple weeks before finals. So it is actually approaching the end of the semester is approaching very, very quickly right now. So that's basically kind of school announcements. As far as calculus AB is concerned, they took a unit 2 test, which is the first test that is a brand new curriculum. And they had a lot of open working class periods. And so I know that, there was a lot of complaining that happened. But lessons will go, and then, they have time to work on it in class, and then I have given open working class periods. And so if they're not using their open working class period appropriately, then that's where they're struggling. I have jumped onto Zoom, especially right before that Unit 2 test. I jumped onto Zoom. I was available for 3 days in the evening. I asked them what they wanted to choose, and they chose 8 o'clock at night on a Friday night, 8 o'clock at night, 7 to 8 o'clock at night on 7 to 9 on a Saturday, I believe, and then it was 2 o'clock to like 4 o'clock on Sunday. And I stayed on. I think I originally said like 1 hour, and then I ended up on there for two. But there's not that many students that came. Actually, the students that came were the ones that actually don't need the help. But I did open it up to everybody. I posted that Zoom link in Google Classroom, told everybody about it, and then only about 4 or 5 kids showed up for Calc AB. And so, I just want to encourage your child, like I can be available, but if you aren't willing to have that conversation with me of I need help and I'm struggling, then it's really hard to do that, to be successful in the class more than just a C in the class. So, you do all your homework, you get F's on the test, you're going to end up with a C in the class. But if you want to earn that B or A, you're going to have to put forth a little bit more effort. And I do have some students that have, come to me and said, hey, I don't really know what's going on. And I've met them on Zoom individually, in the evening, and tried to help them out. After school's really busy for me, I try to get stuff done so I don't take very much work home, even though I do actually take a lot of work home. But I do jump onto Zoom in the evening if students have questions, or they have a conversation with me. I'm pretty open to helping students out, even in the evening. So, again, if your child is struggling, or you don't really like the grade that your child is earning, they have to reach out to me, and have a conversation. But I also know this, that I don't jump onto Zoom for students that don't use their time wisely in class, because that is taking away time from my 7 and my 9-year-old. And so, um, I won't jump onto Zoom with a student that's been spending their free time in class working on a push or goofing around. So just kind of keep that in mind. If your child said, Mrs. Hayden won't help me, why don't you probably should ask, well, what are you doing with your class time? Are you utilizing your class time? Have you had a conversation with Mrs. Hayden? Because in the end, um, if you're not using your class time wisely, I'm not jumping onto Zoom in the evening with you. And I'm sorry, like, I put aside class time for a reason. It's for the students to actually start working and to ask questions and to get help before they go home. Um, and if they, do all the right things and then they're still struggling, then I will jump onto Zoom with them, because students that are doing the right thing and just need a little bit more, of a nudge, it's super important, for their teacher to be there for them. So I just want to say that about, getting extra help, because right about now that's what normally comes home. Mrs. Hayden won't help me, or I have a lot of questions, or I don't know what's going on, and but ask your child, see what's going on in class, see what they're doing in class, see if they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then see if they've had a conversation with me. Because those students that have done the right thing and had a conversation with me, I've jumped onto Zoom with them in the evening, and any day of the week too that I have available. So, okay. As far as Zoom this upcoming weekend, I am opening up a Zoom tonight, Friday night, at, I believe I said 7 or 8. It will be posted, um, in Google Classroom, and it is, on my whiteboard right now. And then I am jumping on to Zoom, tomorrow, Saturday, from 7 to 8. But I told the students if they're still on at 8, I'm going to have to probably kick them off, because I'm going to try to run the Two Cities 5K with both my daughters on Sunday. So we do need to get to bed and get some sleep. But tonight, if they're on a little bit longer than I had scheduled, that's totally fine, as long as it's fine with you guys. But that's what's going on. I did a little activity with the students. I wish my teacher knew. I did that yesterday, and it was really interesting to see, kind of where they're coming from, kind of where they're at. And so it just helps me kind of adjust my curriculum a little bit, adjust the lesson plan a little bit, to kind of meet their needs and make sure that they're not dying in class. This has been the longest stretch without a 3-day weekend. So I see a lot of students just struggling to get to that 3-day weekend. Okay, so that's calc kind of AB slash BC ish. Slash kind of IM2 ish as far as that's concerned. The unit 4 test. So Calc AB is going to take their midterm. Multiple choice is going to be actually on Wednesday, and their free response is going to be on Tuesday. The free response midterm will replace their Unit 3 test score, and then their midterm multiple choice will replace their Unit 2 test score if it is higher. So both midterm multiple choice and free response count for the midterm score, but they can double dip and use it to replace a test if it's higher. So I will allow them to do that, but the free response is on Tuesday, and then their multiple choice is on Wednesday. And then Unit 4 for both Calc AB and BC, which BC just started that unit. That is the last unit of the semester, Unit 4, with an actual test and quiz. So Unit 4 is the last test and quiz. BC will go on to do 2 additional sections of curriculum, maybe 3, before we do finals, and then it'll get tested on with final exams. And then, just to kind of let you guys know, when we did Unit 2, we did Unit 3, especially Unit 3, they had 2 days per section, plus a review day, to work on stuff and get stuff done. And I even had to extend out that homework deadline and open up and let students turn in the test all the way through, or turn in the homework all the way through this weekend, even though they took their test on Wednesday. So just so that you guys are aware, when they were upset about this last unit, they had 2 days per section to work on it. It was a lesson day that had about 15 minutes left of the class period to work and start working. And then they had an entire class period the following day to work on it. So again, BC, we're moving into Unit 4, we're moving into antiderivatives. So if students are having questions, they should ask me about that. I will get grades updated today. It's just taking me a little bit longer, especially with all of the grade replacements for midterms and stuff like that. So I will get that out and update grades either today or tomorrow. As far as IM2 is concerned, they had a quiz yesterday. They have a test on Monday, and then we have 2 more units of curriculum. So we have a unit, actually we have 3-ish, 2.5. So we have a Unit 6. Unit 6, I think, will only have a quiz. It will not have a test. Or we will combine our Unit 6 and Unit 7 test together. Unit 7 ends our geometry section, and then Unit 8 is geometry. So, not geometry, statistics. I'm sorry, I apologize. And so that ends our semester. We'll be with a Unit 7 test, quiz and test, Unit 8 quiz and test, and then it'll be final review and time to get done with finals. When I look at IM2, in case you're wondering, I haven't contacted you unless I found an issue. For the most part, everybody, I don't think there's a single person in danger of failing or earning a D in my class. Otherwise, I would have contacted you as a parent. And I don't believe I made any contact at all, because for the most part, the only reason why they would earn a D or an F in that class is if they're not turning in their homework. Their assessments actually have been really, really good, especially those students that had me last year for IM1. I've seen a huge, huge improvement in their scores and just their overall understanding. So it's been really, really good. My M2 students are great. And so, again, really make sure for IM2, make sure your child is asking questions when they have questions, and make sure that they are turning in all their homework, because that's the one thing that'll keep them from earning the grade that they want. But typically with missing homework, I talk to your child first, say, hey, you got to turn in your homework. And then typically what they do is they don't want me to call you, so they will do their homework and turn it in. So that's why there hasn't really been an issue. So, all in all, things have been great. We're looking forward to that 3 day weekend. Your child has a 3.5 day weekend because we are on early release on Thursday, which is a much needed break. So I'm trying to get all the students to get their homework done in class on Thursday so that they can actually enjoy their 3 day weekend without having to worry about math. Because I think that that is super important, is for everybody to take a little bit of a break this upcoming 3 day weekend and do something that they enjoy and just kind of decompress. So, because I think we all need it. So, anyways, again, like I end every video, if there's any, thoughts, concerns, anything that you want me to know, anything I can do to help you, please let me know. If your child is coming home and saying that they're struggling, please tell them that they should have a conversation with me. Please ask them if they've been working in class when I give them time to work, or what they've been doing with their time, because a lot of it is they're not using their time appropriately. So, again, any questions, send me an email. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I will remember to send this out through email, like I have forgotten. And so, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much. Bye.